省，我们力求直播传真。今天我们在温哥华，有幸请到一个发明家，他的名字叫做 泰里是如何。Okay, hello Terry.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Okay.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Okay. Today we will invite you to our program. I hope you can share some idea about your great idea.
Thank you very much. I have some interesting thoughts, some insights.
Okay.
Some things that you probably never thought of. Although there are science fiction authors who write books, and they came up with some of these ideas already. They're very creative. And it's amazing how sometimes they come so close to the truth of what can and does happen later on. And so this is not something new, but it is new because most people have never heard of it. I was looking on the internet and I found this company in Japan, and they came up with this clever idea. A long time ago, that we want to stop global warming. Now, some people don't believe global warming is real, but it doesn't really matter because it will happen. And it will bring about all kinds of terrible, catastrophic changes to this planet. Our planet simply can't get as warm as global warming will increase the temperature. We have to protect ourselves. And a lot of times they want to pass these laws that say the burden is on you. You have to spend your money to protect the planet. And that's costly and difficult to implement. There's too much public resistance. However, I came across a company that came up with this brilliant idea, and I'm trying to promote it for more people to hear about it, because they do not even try to present this to the world like I'm trying to. So I wrote a whole article about it. And what you want to do is generate a large amount of electrical power. You need a clean source of power. And the way that the thing that they thought of was, you go to the moon. The moon has no atmosphere. There's no weather. There's no earthquakes. So you go to the moon, you land on the moon, and you start from the equator. And you put solar panels on the surface of the moon, probably on poles. That would be the best way to do it. Then you connect all of them together to generate large amounts of power. The cables bring the power to the front of the moon that we see all the time. Okay? But you want the solar panels all the way around the moon, starting at the equator, going 200 miles north and 200 miles south. And that amount of electricity is generated when half the moon is facing the sun, which is all the time, will produce enough electrical power such that it will be 4 times more electrical power than all the energy that was used in 2014. It's astonishing. And all we have to do is send a large amount of rockets to the surface of the moon. We land there. Robots are deployed. They go out and about and they place these solar panels on poles. They connect simple cables that they can attach to each other. And now with really good AI, it's not really a problem at all. And you place these panels and they work their way out from the equator. The moon turns in 28 days, it turns 1 revolution. It turns about 13 miles an hour, or 13 kilometers possibly. It doesn't matter. The point is the equator of the moon is always facing the sun. It doesn't matter whether the moon is full moon, or a new moon, or quarter moon. Half the moon is always facing the sun. So that electrical power will be brought through a cable going along the equator to the front of the moon, the face that we always see. And around the planet, we will have antennas facing the moon. And when the moon is above those antennas, depending on which country it's at, there will be large antennas on the moon that generate microwave energy. And that microwave energy, it's invisible, it's not a laser beam, and it's transmitted, it goes through outer space because it's electromagnetic energy. The electricity is converted. And it will be aimed at those towers, wherever it is, on which side of the earth the moon is at the time. And that power will have antennas in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in North America and South America and Australia. And wherever the energy is beamed, we will set up a global grid of wiring that will transfer the power to all parts of the earth, to the east, to the west. It doesn't matter. All the power will be distributed across the earth, and we will have enough power such that we will not have to use any gasoline. We will not have to use any coal. We will not have to use any natural gas. Airplanes will still have to use fuel, but we can generate hydrogen power. We can have hydrogen cells that will power airplanes. And that's produced, again, from electricity, just separating water into hydrogen and oxygen. And it would be very easy to do. It can be done quickly because if you work on it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you just keep launching those rockets for the moon, you land there, you put solar panels, but also at the same time you can build a foundry. And we can start digging for mineral resources in the moon and manufacture the solar panels on the surface of the moon. And what that will give us is we will have a source of metals. All the metals that are on the Earth are also on the moon, all of them. We will be able to dig on the moon. The deepest mountains in the Earth are in South Africa. They go down 2.2 miles. And then after that, the heat from the interior of the Earth, you cannot go deeper anymore. But there are deeper mines, but they start from a mountain that's 3 miles high, and then they can dig down to about 2 miles below sea level. On the moon, there is no, as far as we understand, the entire moon is a solid object. There's very little, if there's any magma underneath the surface of the moon, it's a very, very small amount. On the moon, you can dig down 5 miles, 10 miles, 20 miles, 50 miles, 200 miles. You can have a mine 200 miles deep. All the metals that we want to acquire, we can get on the moon. We can get more metals extracted from the moon than we have ever dug mining on Earth from 4,000 or 5,000 years ago to today. We can get more metals and we can launch them back from the moon to the Earth. And they just splash down in an ocean or a city, and it's retrieved, and then you can process it into the objects you want to make. You do most of the processing on the moon, because every time you convert power into another source, you lose some. So we can do all the refining on the moon, and there's no pollution controls on the moon. You wouldn't have to worry because there's no plants or animals that can be hurt. There's no rivers that will be polluted. So all the sludge is generated from the operations can just be put aside safely in large piles anywhere, pretty much anywhere. Other things we can do is Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. He's made a drastic mistake, and he himself has just recently discovered his problem. He thought that he should launch to Mars from the Earth, from the Earth to Mars. It's unrealistic to launch a rocket off the surface of the Earth to get to Mars. You have to stop at the moon. And the best place to build a rocket to go to Mars is in the orbit of the moon. And where will you get the resources to build that rocket? Right from the moon, right below you. And this will be our first steps into space. And we're talking about interplanetary. We go to Mars, we go to Venus, and Saturn, and Jupiter. And this is our future. We can build space telescopes. We can build a telescope on the moon that's bigger than any telescope on Earth, because the gravitational pull on the moon is 1/6 of the Earth. So if it weighs, if a telescope, a dish weighs 60 tons on the moon, it would weigh 360 tons on the Earth, and it would distort. But on the moon, you can build much bigger telescopes. And you can look deeper into space than we've ever done before. In 10 years or 5 years, we could learn 70 years of astronomy. In 10 years, it will be totally amazing. And we can also build all kinds of, we can build a city up there and launch rockets into deep space and do more space exploration as well. And this is our future, and it can be done very quickly. And it will be an immense amount of money to get this project started, but the returns will be astronomical. And anyway, that's how we will become a higher energy civilization. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I just want to know the microwave. If you use microwave,
Yes.
that will be interfere human beings' life or not?
That's a very good question. The beams will be very focused over an area. When you transfer the beams from outer space to the Earth, they will get wider and wider, the transmission beam. The idea is to have about 20 square miles separated from a no-fly zone, and the public will not live in a 20-mile area. And the beams will be focused on that area. As the moon goes around the Earth, it will go into it'll get to another antenna, then it will start transmitting to the other antenna, to that 20 square miles area. And no people will go there. However, this microwave energy is a little bit different. It will go right through clouds. A microwave oven absorbs the microwave power and heats up and cooks your food. But this is a different frequency of microwaves. So only a metal antenna called a rectanna will absorb it.
Okay. And another thing is between the moon,
Yes.
you say the moon have two faces, right?
Yes.
So you put the dark side, right?
Yes. It will go around the equator, so it will be. We will only see half of the solar
Yeah.
panels. The other half of the solar panels are on the other side.
Yeah.
Because when we cannot see the moon, it's dark.
Yeah.
The other side is completely lit up. It's
Okay.
completely bright on the other side.
Yeah.
And that's where the power will be being collected then.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then how you can make the microwave?
There's an electrical circuit with an antenna that generates it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The microwave, I mean, how you can transmit from the moon to the Earth. How big the plant? You need a plant, right?
How do you mean?
I mean, it's like a electricity plant.
Yeah. Well, the electricity. Okay, the solar power gets converted to electrical power. Electrical power goes through wiring. It goes. It's mostly conducted to the equator, and near the equator will be about 10 or 12 antennas. And those antennas will convert that electrical power into microwave power, which is electromagnetic energy. Electromagnetic energy, just like light, travels through the vacuum of space. Electricity cannot travel through space, but the
Microwave.
microwaves, which are electromagnetic energy, that's travel through outer space.
Another thing, how many US dollar will be invested for this project?
How many US dollars?
Yeah.
We're talking about at least $7 trillion, as much as $30 trillion. However, we will also get metals from the moon. We will get an unbelievable amount of metal, of anything and everything. Titanium, cobalt, manganese, copper, iron, all of it is there in large quantities and silicon. We're running out of silicon, believe it or not. We can get that too.
But who will be the vehicle? Who will provide the vehicle, space vehicle?
On the moon, when you build a foundry and you start melting that metal, you do the mining. You can do the mining with laser beams, so you don't even need a grinder. Laser beams will cut through the rock, and then you will heat it up, melt it, process it there, and build rockets on the moon that will launch back at Earth.
Who will? Elon Musk or NASA?
Well, if Elon Musk wants to get involved, I would love to get involved.
Okay. So do you have any business plan?
Well, I have a document that I've written out, and this project has been created by a company called Shimizu in Japan. They came up with the initial idea. They're an engineering company, and they used to be on the Nikkei Stock Exchange, but now they're in New York. They're in New York, and they are about the $8 billion US stock market valuation. They build railways, they build apartment blocks, and they came up with this idea. Professional engineers have come up with this project, and I'm sure that it works. It's on their website.
What you want to tell the viewers?
The viewers. Well, I'm definitely looking for investors. However, this is an enormous project. What I need to actually do is find a way to contact a president of some country, whichever country is interested in building this, and they could get involved, and the government itself, and then they could get other governments to contribute, and we could start this project. I came up with an idea to lower the amount of fuel for the rockets that will get to the moon. So I can probably cut 20 to 30% of the rocket fuel that it would take to get to the moon. Also, when we get to the moon, I have several other ideas. Moon dust is a problem on the moon. I have a way of mitigating that. You know, the dust on the moon, they say that it's very, it's corrosive because it's shards of very, it's like sand, but very sharp, and it can get into everything. I have a way of dealing with that. I've also come up with several other ideas about the transmission of power on the moon and the transmission of power worldwide across the Earth when it gets here. For instance, we will use superconductors. All the continents, we will put superconductors underground that will conduct the power. We'll be super cooling down to minus 20 Celsius or so. 20 Kelvin. We'll get a superconductor. There will be almost no electrical resistance in the wire. So there will be almost no line loss when we transfer power from one side of the planet to the other side of the planet. Normally we can lose 20, 30, 40% of the power transferring from a dam to your home. Here there will be almost no line loss. We will have as much power as we can from the moon to here. And we will, and I'm also proposing that we build maglev trains all across our continents. Elon Musk and the Boring Company, they proposed Hyperloop, and their Hyperloop runs at 760 miles per hour and can run over, 760 miles per hour is sort of the top speed. However, if we build underground tubes and we have maglev trains, our maglev trains can go 3,000, even 3,500 miles per hour. And we can move freight at 4,000 or 5,000 miles per hour worldwide.
Interesting.
Because we have the electric power to do it.
So, if someone interested in your project, how they can connect with you?
Oh, okay. My email address is gratedmail, the number 1, at yahoo.ca. My telephone number is 604-446-5151.
That's your contact
Yes.
email. Okay. Thank you. Also, I suggest anyone, if you want to leave your comment, just leave your comment in this video, so we can have a feedback to this investor.
Yes, please post questions down below the video. If you have, I'll answer to the best of my ability. You can go to the Shimizu website and get the diagrams. They have 6 pages or 8 pages of diagrams with a bit of detail. If you email me, I'll send you a much more detailed plan. You'll see this on their website. Is that work?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I have gone and written several pages more. I can email this to you, the PDF. I have written extensive information about everything that I've talked about here and more.
Interesting. So, if you don't mind, I just quickly make a brief or subtract for whatever you said. So, 这个发明家他就是说，他们有一个项目，就是从月亮上那边装上一些可以转化能量的东西，然后把能量呢放在月亮的背面，这个背面呢是向着太阳，来收集太阳能，然后在月亮里面再装一些转化装置，把那些太阳能转为电能，然后又从电能转为微波能量，然后再发送到地球。地球这边有20英里的范围来接收，在全世界不同地方接收，这样呢来彻底解决能量的问题。同时呢，他在希望有人来投资他的项目。OK， 这是今天我们跟这位 发明家，加拿大的一个发明家，同时他有很多 idea 的分享了他的计划。如果你有什么留言，那么可以在视频后面留言。本节目由加拿大凯斯通学院和广西赛诺加生物科技公司赞助播出。我们下期节目再。OK, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay.
Thank you to the audience for listening.
OK, bye bye.
And this is for you.